Welcome to Cross Examine with the Gerbers. I'm Ken Gerber. This is Megan Gerber.
Hi.
So what have you been up to lately, Megan?
It's been a crazy week. We've had to take some right turns and make some decisions that, isn't always fun as being business owners. You feel like you probably get to a point where you don't have to grow anymore, but I don't think that ever happens, does it?
Well, it's like there's always some level of stress owning a business, and then you're constantly making decisions on a daily basis. But every now and then a bigger issue comes up and it's really a tough decision. And you are actually struggling a little bit with the aftermath from it. It's like you're great with making the decisions spot on. You just hit it head on. You know exactly what to do. You're so resolute in making those decisions. But realistically, it takes an emotional toll.
Well, even as Christians, we can pray about it. We know that God has got our back and he does all things for good, even if they hurt at the moment. But your body, my body, the older I get, I literally feel the stress from making those decisions more and more and more. And I don't know if it's that I'm getting older or it's hormonal, but I definitely end up feeling stressed out where I have to just really make myself sit there. You don't really get stressed out. You don't have that.
I don't know. I probably just hide it.
Well,
they teach you that in law school. In law school, you're always taught to be the best in the room. You can't falter. You can't show any weakness. And so it's just so ingrained. And so I probably even just hiding it. But yeah, I'll feel stress.
Well, you do a great job. Isn't there something with the tiger? What's that cereal?
Tony the Tiger?
I'm Tony the Tiger. Wait.
Frosted Flakes?
Yes. What does he say?
You're great.
You're great. Well, the country's been feeling stress. I mean, I heard there's a lot of people that were stuck at the airports.
Yeah, with the shutdown.
Yep. And people were talking about the SNAP benefits. I always thought they were food stamps. Is there a difference between SNAP and food stamps?
I don't know. I can't answer that for you. You're going to show my ignorance of that subject, actually. I don't know what the term is, but I think it's all
they just get
essentially
money per month.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the type of person, and we've talked about this before. Everybody might have a season in their life where they need help. I think the issue is when people become dependent on something. Our producer was talking about, we saw a video where they said, don't feed the animals, just kind of making a joke, which we're not making light of people that need help. Because obviously if you feed the animals, they become dependent on you. And we're not saying people are animals. I was actually on benefits between my divorce of Jack's dad and you.
Right.
I needed help.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that people don't need help. But at the same time, I personally know a lot of people, maybe 10 to 15, that could be working, but they just don't, or they feel like they're already on it. They don't want to lose the benefits and they want to risk working because you have to make a very low amount. I think this was back in 2008. I don't think I could make over like $800 a month total.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't even pay a mortgage. That pays nothing.
Well, see, here's the thing. Anybody can get caught up at, like you said, certain seasons in life where they're down and out. It can happen to anybody at any moment. And those benefits are important because they can help people bridge that gap when they're down and out. But they really should be more of a temporary thing. It should not be a permanent thing.
Well, can you imagine if people that were in car accidents lived off of their insurance all the time? How expensive would insurance be for everybody else?
Oh, it'd be
you get in one car
unaffordable.
accident, and then that insurance company is required to pay for you to live forever. And it depends on the injury.
Right.
Now, obviously, people will say, well, I have more kids. I can't work. Are they really scrutinizing people and going and saying, can you work? And who is it costing?
Right.
Who ends up paying the bill at the end of the day?
Yeah, no, everybody does.
Especially you, Kenneth Paul, because your daughter has a shopping issue, and then that goes back into the country, right?
Yeah, she's supporting the economy for sure.
For sure, she has a Instacart issue.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing with this shutdown is there are a lot of people who work that are federally employed.
Yeah.
And they're not getting income right now, and that's hurting them a lot. And they really
absolutely.
do need to bring that to an end.
Well, something I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, Trump had said if you continue to work while the shutdown for the FAA or the, what do they call those people?
Yeah, the air traffic controllers.
Was it them or was it the people that make you take your shoes off?
The TSA?
Oh, was it a TSA? I don't know. Somebody was going to get a $10,000.
Make you take your shoes off.
They make you take those dang shoes off.
That's actually what it says on their badge that they wear.
Take off your shoes, even if your feet are stinky. It's the worst part of the airport, I'm telling you, is taking your shoes off.
Yeah.
But anyways, from what I heard, Trump supposedly said he wanted to give people a bonus of $10,000 if they continued to work during it because they're going to get paid. It's just delayed.
Right.
And then he wanted to kind of give them a bonus to say, hey, thank you for continuing to work while we were trying to figure things out. And, bottom line, if you're conservative, you're going to blame the Democrats, and the Democrats, it's just a big mess.
It is.
And everybody wants what they want on both sides. I'm a conservative, but I'm not saying that the conservative side is perfect.
No.
Okay, because...
No, and that's what I appreciate that about you, that you're able to step back and scrutinize, conservatives, your own party. You scrutinize everybody if they're not doing something right. And I appreciate that.
The only person I don't scrutinize is Jesus.
There you go.
It's true.
Why would you?
He's the only perfect person that walked on this earth. So everybody else can be I almost said infallible, but then I was
probably not a word.
Fallible.
Infallible.
See, it's always perimenopause. But so I've been hearing some other things about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I guess Candace has the #1 podcast. Is it in the country or the world? I don't remember. But she became like #1.
She's probably, if she's #1 in the country, she's probably #1 in the world.
And you know why? Because what we were talking about. Everybody is wanting that spice in their life. They want to listen to other people's opinions about what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And she definitely has an opinion.
She does a great job with it, honestly. I like that. I like that she's really just grabbed hold of that subject and she's not letting go. And, there are a lot of discrepancies with it and it's making everybody question what's going on. And she's just creating a voice for that.
Well, I loved what our guy that we talked to said. He said, you take out what doesn't make sense.
Right.
And you're left with what makes sense.
Right.
And we already talked about that on another podcast. And it's not a shock that the government would lie to us.
No.
I mean, the FBI was kind of put together to protect the government. So.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that we were talking about this past week is, and it kind of goes into the whole thing with the financial shutdown and how it really comes down to both parties. It's been years and years of mismanagement and overspending and disagreement. And there's so much that we have come to expect to distrust about the government. And there's so many times, how many in recent history have we heard of, the country's going to end, the world's coming to an end, the economy's going to fail, all these different things, just again and again and again. Aliens are coming. It's constant, the number of apocalyptic thoughts and pressures that people are putting on us.
I think it was about a year ago we threw out stuff. Remember during COVID, they're like, the country's going under. You have to stockpile all these things.
Yeah.
I think I had 80 peanut butter jars.
Right.
Potato jars.
Yeah. It's a whole new
80
industry.
Potato cans. I had a bunch of stuff. We spent way too much. We weren't the toilet paper hoarders.
No, but we were stockpiling resources for when the economy collapses and there's no food in the grocery store and there's no money to spend because the financial system has bottomed out.
Do you remember that one movie? What is it called? It's with, I know it's a cute guy. Not as cute as you, but it's a cute guy. He's blonde. It's where they were in that basement. They lived in the basement because they thought there was like
The Quiet Place?
no.
Oh.
No. It's like the 1950s and they go down into this basement and they're living in the basement. George, his name's George maybe. He plays George of the Jungle. That actor.
Brendan Fraser.
Yes. Brendan Fraser's in the movie and his parents, he eventually escapes and says, oh, there's a whole world up there. And his dad is like, he plays a bad guy a lot.
I don't remember the movie. I don't know if I've seen it, but I think I know what you're talking.
Yes.
Blast from the Past.
Blast from the Past.
Yes.
We've talked about that. Like, do we need a basement? But then I don't think I'd want to live. If there was like a huge nuclear
all the
bomb?
radioactive fallout. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck underground, not knowing if your family is the only one that survived in the whole earth.
I don't think you could handle me 24/7 in a underground thing.
I don't know. I'd be willing to try.
But they do have, going back to even JT's video that we had last time, they talk about all of those. I don't know if he talked about it, but have you seen the conspiracies where these vans drive into like mountains and there's like all this underground cities and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of the underground cities, of tunnels underground throughout the country and the world. There's a lot of talk about that.
I just saw this thing that in Vegas, people live underground. Did you know that?
No.
All throughout Vegas, underneath in the water system, whatever they call it, is there, what is underneath the water? What is underneath the street?
The sewer system?
The sewer system. Well, it can't be sewers. They call it something. There's lights under there. And there's homeless people in Vegas that lost their money or like had to stay in, I don't know, maybe they're running from the mafia. I don't know. But they're underground living. People should look that up.
Interesting.
They could just stay there if there's a bomb.
Right.
But anyways, we're talking about conspiracy theories. And we were talking about how do you live your life as Christians with all of these different things coming at you every single day. I mean, we were talking about that alien ship or whatever they were talking about.
3i Alpha.
3i
No.
Alpha.
3i. I don't remember.
Atlas. 3i Atlas.
Thanks.
And then all of a sudden you're like, where is it in the news? I'm like, nobody's talking about it.
Well, and there were the drones that were hovering around the country
during Christmas. And they said there's all this fog and there's all these drones. And then
they just disappeared.
And on another, talking about Area 52.
No, 51.
If Area 51.
It's right next to Area 52.
There's two of them.
No, there's not.
The chip plant that they're building out in Phoenix. Yeah. They're going to be building a city. How would you know that they did not build something underneath there? Has anyone ever thought about that?
Yeah, you wouldn't. But that goes back to what we're talking about, which is we're lied to so much and we're manipulated so much by the government, by the media, by, so many different resources.
By
so
other law firms.
By other law firms, by other countries. I mean, everything is a psyops where there's this whole manipulation of us. We don't know what's up. So I was expressing to you this past week how I was so tired of all the different apocalyptic thoughts and end of the world and end of the economy and all that. And you stock up on things and comes to pass, nothing happens. Nothing at all.
Right. It's
and
like
it's
this
frustrating.
Big, like, exciting uphill.
Yeah. So I guess the first...
Thank God you're the attorney because I can't think of words lately. They just disappear from my brain. You're the attorney.
Right.
I get to be here and just be the airhead that everyone thinks I am. So
yeah, far from the truth. Yeah. No, but I guess the first question with all of the different misdirection and excitability and the media and the end of the world stuff. First question is, why do you think that's going on? Why do you think it keeps coming up?
Because everybody has a dopamine addiction. Everybody needs a high from something. And they're just lost, and even people that have Jesus go and get addicted to all this stuff.
Yeah. It's way too easy to get caught up in the emotion of it all.
Well, because I think people are bored, and I think people think there's we talked about this last week, that Jesus made things simple, right? We talked about the Jewish culture and how everything was so planned, and you had like the Catholic Church. Like, I was raised Catholic.
Right.
And if you don't do this or you don't do that, if you don't do something a certain way, you don't pray a certain way, or you don't, then it feels like you're not connected to Christ. And I'm not against Catholics. I love Catholics. It's great. But I also believe that Jesus made our relationship simple.
Right.
And so I think through that simplicity, maybe we get bored, or we feel like maybe we're desperate. Are people desperate right now to feel like they want some relief? Like, maybe the whole end of the world is, some people are hoping it's the end of the world.
Well, and I think, when JT was talking about that little season where Christ's millennial reign is already over, and Satan has been loosed on earth for a short time, I think maybe that's some of the allure to that. Because honestly, I kind of am really intrigued by it. I really like that idea. And I think part of that is it's easy because you know that Christ has already been on the throne. You're not waiting for him to return. You're not worried about a rapture happening. And how is that? Is that before the mark of the beast? Is that after the mark of the beast? What's the struggle that we're going to be facing? That's already been resolved. So there's really an attractiveness to it. And I think,
but is that maybe Satan making you feel attracted to that?
And it could be. And that's why I want to be very clear. We're not shaming people for getting caught up in the emotion of all the apocalyptic stuff. We do. We have, and we probably will again, but it's a natural draw to those heightened emotions. And I think that's why governments and media outlets and governmental agencies with 3 letters know that they can manipulate people.
CIA, FBI.
They know that they can manipulate people by just creating stressful times, and they can polarize people, and they can get people so focused on what's going on and which side is going to win, what's the right side, what's the wrong side, that they lose focus of what's truly important. And that brings me to the second question, after why are they doing it, to what's really important. How do you handle it? What we really need to be doing.
Focusing on our family.
Yeah.
Focusing on Christ, putting him first.
Yeah.
And when you're distracted like that, you're stressed. When you're stressed, you're angry. You can't have peace.
Right.
Right? Here I am stressed out. And do you think I felt peaceful? No. And then when you don't feel peaceful, you feel like you're the one who's in charge of your peace instead of putting it at his feet.
Right.
You end up struggling and taking control yourself.
Yeah, you know what? I hadn't thought about that, but you're exactly right. It brings it down. It's so personal, and it makes you personally responsible, and it makes you so reliant on the government and the media and world politics and all that, rather than just letting go. And
letting go and letting God.
Yeah, letting God handle it. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Thank you. I love being right sometimes.
Yeah, I tease you and ask you if you ever get tired of being right.
I do.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
So it's also confusing for people when it comes to finding a lawyer.
Sure.
I mean, if we're keeping people confused, then they don't know who to believe.
Right.
And I think that's part of the reason why we wanted to do this podcast, is to show people truly who we are. We're not scripted.
Right.
We're talking off the cuff. This is who we are. And why we wanted to do it was to show them our faith, that we're good people. We answer to God first.
Right.
Before anyone here on earth. So we will be completely honest with their case and with them.
Yeah,
you are completely above board with everything that you do. And the fact that you've been doing it for over 30 years, you're an expert.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I knew a thing or two. But yeah, you're right. It is easy for people to get distracted about that because there's so many commercials, there's so many billboards, there's so many options out there. And now there are businesses that aren't even law firms that are advertising as law firms and telling people that they work for or with the insurance company, flat out lying to them. It's just, there's a lot of confusion out there. And so, yeah, that's one of the reasons why we felt it so important to talk directly here.
Yeah, and the traffic is getting worse. I just shared Surprise Police Department's post where they're doing something within the city of Surprise because in the retirement community, I guess they're running stop signs, running stoplights.
Yeah.
And they're wanting them to drive safer. And I don't know if that's health related or they're just being lazy or what is going on? What do you think?
I think that there's a lot of people in the area. I think there's a lot of people coming from all different areas. We talk about this all around the country with different traffic laws everywhere else. And they're coming here and they're bringing their ideas of what traffic laws are everywhere else and not really paying attention to our specific laws. Plus, when you have so many people, and in that particular retirement community, the Grand, Sun City Grand, in the Sun City area, they're retirees. So they're in their golf carts, they're on their bikes, they're out walking, all these different things. And you bring them all together in tight spaces and you have a recipe for a lot of injuries, a lot of accidents. And I want to point out something that you do repeatedly, which I really appreciate. And that is that you will see where there's a danger. And I feel like a lot of injury lawyers get so lost in what they do, getting cases, winning cases, earning money, getting, money for their clients, that they could see a dangerous situation. They could see an intersection that's dangerous or a dangerous condition in a parking lot or in a store and say to themselves, when something happens there and somebody gets hurt, I hope they call me. And what I really appreciate about you is that you go to the store, you go to whoever, and you raise the issue right then and there. And you say, somebody's going to get hurt and we don't want them to get hurt. And that's what you were doing with the Surprise Police Department post, with them taking this proactive approach to the traffic laws and trying to reduce accidents. As an injury law firm, for you to say and post and share it and say, we support what you're doing. We don't want people to get hurt. I love that. Because that's why injury law actually came about, is to prevent injuries, not just to earn money off of injuries, not just to, help people after there have been injuries, but to prevent injuries, to make businesses and municipalities and drivers know that they need to be safer to prevent our fellow man from being hurt.
Oh, absolutely. It makes me so sad to see people injured. We recently decided we were doing a scholarship because one of my friends lost her son, sadly, who's 19 years old, 2 years ago to a car accident.
Yeah.
And we're doing a scholarship for kids once a month for the next year. That is a defensive driving class in Glendale, and we will be paying for that through the law firm.
Yeah.
And if we can help make the roads safer, that means so much more to me than ever a single dollar for us to ever make that.
Yeah, totally agree. And again, it was another brilliant, heartfelt idea from you. And I really appreciated that you came up with that. And I'm so glad that we're going to be doing that. Again, that's what we're supposed to do, is we're supposed to try and make our society safer. We're supposed to be looking out for our fellow man.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I grew up with a my dad was chief of police of the cities that we lived in. And I always heard the scary stories. I didn't really hear the car accident stories, but we had plenty of car accidents having a house up in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, if you look it up, that's like the most drunk state in the country.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of kids drink and drive and get into car accidents. And a drunk, deaf mute killed my dad's best friend and his dad. It was Memorial Day weekend. And I had...
This was many years ago.
This was many years ago. This was when I was in high school. And I've had many people that I know that have unfortunately been hurt or died in car accidents. And when it comes to drinking and driving, with all the Ubers now, there should be no excuse for somebody to be
really
drinking
not.
and driving.
Right.
Whenever
There's no
I hear
excuse.
stuff like that, or kids speeding, kids think it's just a video game where they get behind the wheel and they go 120 miles an hour. Do they not understand if you hit a bump, it's not a video game?
No, they don't. They don't. And actually, that's something that I've thought a lot about, is the impact of video games on their driving, because they're used to pressing a button and going faster, pressing a button and stopping. And they're not taking into account the inertia of a big, heavy vehicle. It doesn't just stop and start on the press of a button. It takes time. And then, yeah, when you hit a bump going at 120 miles an hour, you're going to lose control. It's so very different than hitting a bump at 50 miles an hour.
And what's cool is because we put Jack through the defensive driving class, and we're planning our son Jack, and we're planning on putting our daughter who's 15, they will show you what happens on a video screen. So they do actually show you, if you were to go this fast or you were to hit a pedestrian, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
And I think that's very important for parents out there to not just give your child the gift of a, driving school. You have to go that extra step. Even if it's not just for them, if you think, oh, they're a great driver, there's plenty of bad drivers out there. And I'm always promoting, look before you turn left on a yellow light, because somebody's inevitably going to either fly through that yellow light because they know it's going to turn red, or fly through the red light and you're going to get T-boned. And there's so many serious injuries, and it breaks my heart every time we go past it or we get a call and it's somebody going past an intersection and a motorcycle hits them, or somebody was going 80 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone because they were trying to get through the red light. It's not worth it for the extra 3 minutes to fly through that light.
No, it's really not. And that's one thing that I've heard before, is that when somebody is speeding to get to their destination, on average, do you know how much time they save?
Oh, wasn't it like 3 or 4 minutes or something like that?
It's like 90 seconds.
Oh.
They will literally, from driving the speed limit and following all the traffic laws versus speeding the same distance to get to their same destination, they'll save on average about 90 seconds. And it's just not worth it.
And with the holidays around right now, I would love for people to proactively think about what they're going to do on Thanksgiving. Think about what they're going to do on Christmas. Think about what they're going to do on New Year's. Proactively say, I'm not going to drive and drink. I'm going to be safer. I'm going to, I think to myself when I preach on Facebook or preach here, it feels like I am preaching, because I am. They're not going to change how they're driving, but if they can at least think in their head, you know what? I am going to do something different. I'm not going to have 3 drinks at my cousin's house and then get in the car and drive when I normally think I'm fine.
Right.
Take that extra step. It's worth it. You're worth it.
Totally.
Your family's worth it.
You got to tell the story about you posting that video on Facebook, because you actually got into that on Facebook, and the response that you got from one of your followers was just really made you scratch your head.
Well, I did probably a 3 or 4 minute video.
We're in the car.
I'm FaceTiming. I'm like, the camera's facing me. So they must have been confused because it looked like you were on the opposite side, the driving side. But I'm literally looking at my phone for a full 3 minutes saying, hey, when you're driving, don't be on your phone, don't be distracted, blah, 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 blah. And my follower goes, you're a hypocrite. You're sitting there driving, recording this video. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even be like,
Right.
looking at my phone. How can I look at the street if I'm doing that?
That was hilarious. Yeah, you took a picture of me in the driver's seat and posted that as the follow-up comment saying, Ken's driving, not me.
Well, I stand by the fact that people should not be distracted and driving.
Totally agree.
They think it's not going to happen to them, but the second they look down, they don't know if somebody's going to be passing them, somebody on a bike. And we've handled a lot of cases with bikes where cars swerve and hit them.
Yeah, it's devastating. It's devastating.
So we already decorated for Christmas.
We did.
You're either before Thanksgiving Christmas decorators or you're after.
I find it hard to accept after Thanksgiving decorators because I feel like it's so much effort that goes into putting all of it up that it's only up for a short period of time before you have to take it back down. So I kind of appreciate you saying, okay, November 1st, let's put it up, because then you can get it up and you can enjoy it for a couple of months before you have to go to all the effort of taking it down again.
I absolutely agree, but I just love it because with anxiety, with just life in general, as everybody knows, because of all the things going on in this country, what is better than waking up and looking at a sparkly light in your house where you remember, hey, this stress will one day be gone because I will be with Jesus in heaven.
Right.
As long as you know Jesus, which if you don't, I hope that you do.
Right. And I would not wish a flock tree on anybody.
No. They are a mess. And those flocked trees.
Yeah.
But they're so pretty. How can you not have anyone else out there have a flock tree with all that pretty white fake snow on it?
They're pretty.
They're pretty messy.
Yeah, it's awful.
So we were talking to our producer about possibly having a food critic on here.
Yeah.
Because there's so many new restaurants popping up in Phoenix. What do you guys think about that? You guys think you want a food critic on here so they can say, hey, these are the best places to go and eat in Phoenix. Tonight, we're going to go to a sushi restaurant, which is delicious. And I have to say, we've been to Nobu and we've been to this place called Blue Sushi out in Surprise. And there is this one dish at Nobu that is this white fish with their jalapenos on them. It's like, right. I don't remember the name of the dish, but it's this white fish. And
it's cut really thin.
With lime juice and then jalapeno. And the dish is like $50. It's worth it at Nobu, but it's not that expensive at Blue Sushi in Surprise. And it literally tastes the same.
Yeah, it's good sushi.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that place.
But I think, since you were asking about should we have restaurant critics on, I think we should also put it out there because we've had various great guests so far. We've got more lined up that are coming on that we're excited about. But what we do is we like to have local people in Arizona here, business owners, entrepreneurs, other people like that can give a perspective to our viewers on life in general, how life meets with their faith, that kind of thing. And I think it would be a great idea if anybody has any suggestions for us of other guests that we could have on to message us and let us know.
And living in Phoenix. Because there's so many new people in Phoenix. They don't know what they're missing out on unless they hear about it.
Right.
We could be the go-to people besides injury law. Well, I don't know what else to say to you right now besides you're very gorgeous.
Thanks. So are you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, I think maybe we can just bring this one to a close. And we've got, like we said, a great guest lined up next week. That's going to be exciting. And
this Friday, we will have Ryan on the podcast. I mean, we already recorded him, but his podcast will be his episode will be on Friday.
Yep.
And he talks about his life in the music industry, which is always fun.
Really exciting.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. Good stories.
Well, thank you for joining us. at Cross Examine with the Gerbers. Don't forget, we own Gerber Injury Law. So if you're injured, give us a call. 623-486-8300. Bye.